And this is Monday, September 16th, the year of our Lord 2024. Now, I wrote a piece that's basically titled The Week of Illegal Revelation. And so, as the title might suggest, it's sort of double-edged. So we're learning more about illegals, but what we're learning, we're not supposed to be learning. I just wanted to share that as I've reviewed all the different sources that we've seen and heard from over the week, this has really it's really sent the message home for me, the degree to which our media lies to us in every possible way. I'm still trying to process it. I'll just say that much for now. Okay, so go to our site, Yankee T News, like, subscribe, donate, maybe someday buy our stuff, tell everyone. And I want to put this up. There is the battle over the SAVE Act in Congress right now, which is supposed to prevent illegals from voting, but the Democrats don't care. So check that out. And then we still need to complain about the overbilling with the phony public charge in Connecticut. So call the governor and let him know. So there you go on that. Okay, let's start with the big issues here. Oh, by the way, I just want to mention quickly that Eric and I have been talking about this idea, which is interesting. We'll call it the State of America series. And so tonight, so for each week, we're going to take one part of one broad issue, and that's where we're going to start. So this week, we're going to be talking about good old illegal immigration. What a surprise. Okay, to cut to the chase. Chris Rufo, who is an excellent writer and thinker, actually went to Springfield, Ohio, and has confirmed for himself, that's right, they're grilling cats. Yep, he's got the video proof. We have the link for it. It's right there. You can go look at it. Now, the other part, though, that's at least as important, there is also a gentleman, he calls himself Hail the King 23, and again, we have links for him. And he makes the point that these people aren't just killing these animals for food. These are for their, hold on to your hat, this is hard to accept and believe, but it is for their voodoo rituals. Now that puts a whole different look on this whole thing, doesn't it? So check it out. And yeah, meantime, I want to just touch on the other part of illegal immigration, which is Tren Aragua. So let me start with the first problem. And I mentioned this last week. Somebody had done the research and estimated that of all the different Mexican drug cartels that are in business, there are about 150,000 people who work with these drug cartels. And of course, that doesn't include the corrupt federal officials. That would be another 100,000. But Tren Aragua, believe it or not, only has 5,000 members. So I'm puzzled by this. How can you have a group that's getting so much more publicity and attention because they're doing outrageous things, be perceived as having a greater impact than a group that is what, 20, 30 times as big as them? So it's very puzzling. But I will just add one important point that you need to keep in mind about Tren Aragua. They are contractors to the Venezuelan government, all right? That is a fact that needs to be kept in mind. So in other words, the weapons that they show have probably been supplied to them by the Venezuelan government. And it gets even weirder after that.
Can we segue right to the second assassination attempt?
Well, we're getting there, don't worry. So the other part here is getting worse. Okay, and the way we know that it's getting worse is that you now have people in the areas around Aurora, Colorado, saying that they're going to be suing in the Denver suburbs over these things that have taken place. You've seen how poorly the government and law enforcement has responded. So now the local citizens are going to start speaking up on this with these lawsuits. It's something to keep in mind. Meantime, I just want to quickly mention there's a lot of confusion here. There's a claim that there's a whistleblower from ABC News who's filled out a sworn affidavit in which he or she asserts that there's proof that there is collusion between the Kamala Harris campaign and ABC News. I'm a little skeptical, and it could be true, but we need better information than we're getting right now, but I wanted to bring it to your attention. Okay, wait, I'm sorry. What? Wait, no? Huh? What? What? You know I'm in the middle of a broadcast, right? All right. You think it's important. Can I get back to you on that? Okay. Sorry, that was the conspiracy department calling you. Okay, now, in talking about this, I need to touch on both the first assassination attempt and now the second assassination attempt. I need to pass this to you quickly. It's just a rumor, it may not be true, but the rumor is that the deep state will give up the plotters of the first assassination attempt. My reaction is clearly they have bigger plans. So that's a rumor, just a rumor. Now, the other part that's, how typical when the rats jump the ship, right? So these rats happen to be some of the highly placed Secret Service agents who were in charge when these events unfolded. So are some of the plotters among them? Possibly. We'll find out. And the other reason they're jumping ship so quickly is because Senator Josh Hawley came out with a statement that he will soon have a report. You had Senator Richard Blumenthal commenting on, oh my God, this is going to be so bad, they're going to look horrible, we don't know what to think, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so here's a shot of it, the whistleblower report, okay? And it's not clear when it's going to come out, but it's going to come out. And the hot question here, so the way they're selling this beforehand is to suggest that there'll be bombshell revelations, there're going to be shocking disclosures, things we never would have considered. Okay, but we'll save this for another time.
Show me, don't tell me.
Well, there's the show me, don't tell me, but there are too many examples here. When you have people who are engaged in conflict and confrontation like this, that there are certain techniques for dealing with those who are accusing you. One small example, and Bill Clinton used this all the time, was that if you were accused of, say, X, well, what you would do is you would give them just a little bit to confirm their suspicions, but you would withhold the rest, okay? And it just seems like there's a similar game that could be played here. All right, so moving on. With respect to this gentleman, Mr. Routh, okay, I just need to start out. So I have the links there, so go see them. But the first thing that struck me, because people have not wasted any time pulling together as much information going back as far in time as they can on this gentleman. And I will just say that for all intents and purposes, with some exceptions, okay, because he did get in trouble in 2002 for some arms possession, but for the most part, he looked like he was leading a normal life. He got married, had 2 kids, had a business. So somewhere after 2018, it just seems like something went wrong. And I can't quite, I think we're going to learn more, but I just wanted to point that out to you. And I think it's disturbing how Meta very quickly brought down his Facebook page. Now, we have a late entry on a link for you to go check out. Wait, what? No, we'll get to it. Okay, just wait, we'll get to it, okay? All right. The conspiracy department can be a real pain in the ass sometimes. So so Meta takes it down. Now, so the late entry that I wanted to mention, okay, is from a guy who quickly got all the stuff that was on his Twitter account or X account. There weren't that many tweets on there, but what he did do was he found the very first entry, the very first follower that he had. Now, I may not have the name quite right, but it was Sue Kim or Kim Sue. And you read, this thing could all be misinformation. Let me just acknowledge that. Okay, but there you're reading it, and you're looking at it, and she identifies herself as being a part of the CIA or interested in the CIA, some connection with the CIA. What's this all about? Okay, so that was the very first follower on Twitter for Mr. Routh. Better yet, they followed each other. Okay, now how the others figure in, we don't know. And I just want to throw in another quick comment. This disclosure that he supposedly recruited, of all people, Afghanistan soldiers to come fight in Ukraine, I'm having problems with that. Okay, there's actually a tweet where it shows, I'm not sure what the language is, Farsi. It's written up in or Arab, and you're looking at this, and he's trying to recruit people in their own language. Does that mean he's fluent? We've never heard any discussion of that. But the bigger problem is, I'm sorry, if you talk to people who are in Afghanistan, Afghanistan soldiers do not acquit themselves well in battle. They do not. They have a culture of not holding ground when they fight. So why would you be recruiting people like that? This makes no sense to me. I'm just saying. Okay, so there's that. So these are just the things that we've learned very quickly about Mr. Routh. There are elements where he clearly has a troubled past. He's a registered Democrat, donated to Democrats, but you see him wearing, the big thing they're putting up shows him wearing all kinds of red, white, and blue paraphernalia, making him seem like he's a patriot when he's not. I mean, that he went to Ukraine sounds noble, but again, I find myself asking more questions for which I have no answers. Okay, what am I leaving out here? Those are the key points about him as an assassin. All right, so I just want to bring up another point here that's of note. So somebody came across, look, I don't know if you remember. Okay, wait. Okay, I'll listen. What have you got to tell me? Yeah, okay. But no, look, you guys can be crazy sometimes, but I feel a responsibility to share this, so I will. All right, talk to you later. Okay, so the conspiracy department would like to indicate that they've done a fairly extensive analysis of the events surrounding the second assassination attempt at the golf course. The main issue here that they don't like in the conspiracy department is, again, there seemed to be poor protection of the perimeter. Plus, we have two versions of what happened around the moment when the Secret Service agents spotted the gun. Version one is sharp-eyed Secret Service agent spots a rifle in the bushes from 300 yards away. Seriously, 300 yards away, you're going to see a rifle? We have questions, says the conspiracy department. But the second part now is it turns out that there was a perimeter team that was scouting the area. And as this other guy said it, he's part of the golf team, this is his report. There's this outer perimeter group that totally missed that the guy was there, okay? But it was somebody who's in the inner perimeter who actually caught him. So that's that version. We're going to have to see what the facts are. But I, unfortunately, have to report to you, ladies and gentlemen, that the conspiracy department is a little on the edge here. Okay, there are reasons for being skeptical, is that we know how poorly the Secret Service handled the assassination attempt back in July. So if they have an intense interest in trying to rehabilitate their image with the public, we should not be surprised. Okay, we should not be surprised. So what are we looking at here? Somebody asked the question, I'm gonna pose it this way, this conspiracy department speaking. How did this guy know to be out on the golf course in the first place? That he was out there for 12 hours, which means he was out there 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning and waited? That's a whole other question. But then the other part now is if he didn't know to be there, but he was there, who told him? Okay, he didn't do this on his own. He didn't just suddenly wake up one morning and say, I'm going out to the golf course to shoot somebody. No. So I would like to just share with you that the conspiracy department, without any apologies, wishes to suggest that it would have been the Secret Service that told him to be there at that time. The point being to stage an event in order to rehabilitate their image. So there's the conspiracy theory, and I'm not happy with it, but we get to discuss it later. Meantime, I just want to quickly share this other thing with you. Remember the London police chief who threatened Americans with arrest if from America's shores they posted stuff about the events in England, the riots. Okay, well, apparently that is just the beginning. just the beginning. So we have up a link to what's essentially a report that analyzes how foreign governments are working on suppressing American speech. Okay? They don't care about our First Amendment rights, so they want to find any way to come after us, they can. So check that out. Meantime, I want to share this. Here we go. All right, you're looking at the MRI image of a gentleman's brain, and you'll notice that there's a big empty space in there. Now, I'm not going to make a joke about whether that reminds you of anybody, but there it is. So the term is, it's an arachnoid cyst, and these are common. I could have this for all I know. My wife would say this makes a lot of sense. There have been cases where it's worse. One, there was a 27-year-old woman who was a graduate student, and if you look at the picture, her brain was compressed all around the rim, and all the rest was water in her brain. And she was perfectly normal, maintaining a B average in graduate school. So this should tell you a lot of things, but that was so unusual. And the last thing I want to share with you is that there was an article. Now, you're going to hear more of this term. We'll call them BioBots or xenobots, all right, where you're taking cells, cell culture, cells and tissues, and creating these, call them organisms, for lack of a better term. We're in the very early stages of this, but damn straight, this is the future of biology, and you can go read it. All right, until then, I'll be talking to you later. Bye, guys.